Hi, welcome to the Ballistics Report. I'm your host, U.S. Ballistics. In what is to be our very first edition of the Ballistics Report, I want to talk to you a little bit about Land U.S. East. Land U.S. East is due to take place Thursday, July 24th through Sunday, July 27th. I, along with Virus, will be the host of the U.S. East Land U.S. East 2008. Now, if you're lucky enough to be one of the attendees to our event, boy, do we have a show in store for you. We have some fantastic sponsors. Ultra Products have announced that they are going to sponsor for the fourth year in a row the Ultra Products Counter-Strike Source 5v5 tournament, in which 5-man teams are going to just throw down in western Pennsylvania, and we're going to figure out when the dust clears who the champion is. And those champions will be awarded fine products from Ultra Products. In years past, they've always provided us with fantastic aluminum cases for the winners. Each winner will receive a brand new aluminum ATX computer case. Now, the second place winners, they're also going to win computer cases too. Windowed steel cases, as a matter of fact. And for the third place prize, the teams are going to win 600-watt Ultra power supplies. Isn't that nice? Thank you, Ultra Products. Thank you so much for your support. 4 years running for Land U.S. East 2008. Now, one of the things that I've done in preparation for Land U.S. East 2008 is I've done an upgrade. And that's what I want to talk to you about right now, is about upgrading and how to make your money go the furthest. Because, you know, in these days and times, we really need to learn to stretch our money. I've always been that type of a gamer. We call them budget gamers. So, let me explain to you what my most recent upgrade was. Now, I was online perusing one of our very good friends, TigerDirect.com, and I found a fantastic price on a fabulous CPU. Right here, we have the Athlon 64 X2 6000 Plus. Now, this happens to be the very first dual-core CPU to ever debut at 3 gigahertz. AMD is the proud parents of this processor. This debuted in early 2007. Now, this processor is a fabulous processor. It has a lot of power, a lot of potential for gaming. It's dual-core, which means any multi-threaded application will be able to take advantage of both cores and cut down the processing time for such things as Photoshop editing or just gaming, just multi-threaded gaming goodness. Now, this processor is based on the Windsor core. Now, the Windsor core is a reiteration of the 90 nanometer manufacturing process. What AMD figured out was that they got really good at the 90 nanometer process. I mean, I upgraded from a 90 nanometer Winchester core, an AMD 64 3000 Plus. Now, that processor was running at, I believe it's 1.8 gigahertz originally. I was able to overclock that to 2.2 gigahertz, by the way. AMD processors historically are pretty good for overclocking if you're interested in that. But what I did was I upgraded to this Athlon 64 X2 6000 Plus processor, and my frame rates just went through the roof. Using the same video card, I gained an increase of about 40% on frame rates in Counter-Strike Source. That's the game that I play mostly. Now, this AMD 64 Athlon 64 X2 6000 Plus operates, like I said, at 3 gigahertz each core. And each core happens to have its own 1 megabyte of L2 cache, which will really come in handy for hungry applications. Now, the thing that I really wanted to point out was that in 2007, when this processor first debuted, it was around $459 retail. Looking around on the internet, I found that you could pick this processor up in a retail box for under $115, no less than 17 months later. So here it is, currently July of 2008, And if you look tigerdirect.com, you can find this processor for $114 plus shipping. That's a lot of power for a little bit of money, especially considering that you're getting a 3-year warranty, a full 3-year manufacturer's warranty on this particular processor. And the thing that's really neat about that, it comes with its own heat sink and fan. You won't have to buy one. It comes with the retail box. And I found that the processor stays fairly cool. I haven't had any problems with overheating with this particular processor with the stock heat sink and fan. Now, I'm not doing any overclocking, and I don't see any reason for it with dual cores at 3 gigahertz each. Now, do yourself a favor if you get a chance and go out and pick up one of these processors. For $115, you just can't beat it. Now, this operates on the socket AM2. And it may very well, it did require for me, in my case, I had to upgrade my motherboard from the socket 939 to the socket AM2. But the socket AM2 supports a whole plethora of processors. I selected an ASUS motherboard operating on the Enforce 560i chipset with SLI chipset. And this X2 6000 just dropped right in there without a problem. Fired right up, no problem whatsoever. And my machine is just running, clipping right along, and I love it. It's quite a large performance jump from an AMD 64 3000 to the 6000 to the X2 6000. Now, one thing that you're going to have to do though is I did have to buy the DDR2 memory, which operates at 800 megahertz. And that was the Crucial Ballistics RAM, the Tracer RAM. I picked that up at Tiger Direct as well. And I got a great deal on it. And I got 2 1 gigabyte sticks in there now in my computer, and it's loving it. So that's the way I've prepared. I'm still running the same video card as I was, which is an 8800 GTS, and with 320 megabytes of RAM on board. And I really love that video card, but this just breathed new life into that video card. My frame rates went up from about 100 frames per second up to around 130 frames per second in Counter-Strike Source. And if you know anything about computer gaming, the more frames per second you get can very well make the difference between whether or not you're the victor or whether or not you get fragged. And I don't like to get fragged. Just ask anybody who's played me. And by the way, that reminds me. If you want to play me, I'm not hard to find. I spend a lot of time on Beatles Mod server. So if you look here on the screen, I'll show you the IP address. Jump on there anytime. If you see US Ballistics on there, that's me. And I love to play Counter-Strike Source. Jump on, say hi. Frag me if you can. Be careful. I think I'm ranked number 5 right now on the server. Out of a few thousand players, 4,000 or 5,000 players. So, you want to frag me? Hey, come on, bring it. Just bring it. Bring it. Okay? All right. That's my report. I hope to see you at LAN US East next Thursday. I'm going to be there. Are you going to be there? If you'd like more information on our LAN event, just go to www.clanuseast.com. Look for the information on the left where it says LAN Party. Click on it. All the information about our fine sponsors, including Ultra Products, is there. And I invite you to just tune in, check our website out, give us a shout out, join our forums, and just say, hey, tell me what you think of this video. Thank you.